Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Talk Forte with Tola. Well, with me today I have a man or a guy. I know there's been a lot of misconception if Talk Forte is just for the ladies. Actually, it's not. I was tempted to make it just for the ladies. You know, I'm all about girl power, but no. So we have today with us a guy. He's Dr. Anu Ojo. He's a medical doctor presently specializing in psychiatry, and he's also a pastor and a life coach, which is what he's here as today, a life coach. You're welcome, Pastor Anu. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I forgot to mention he's the founder of SOPAD Academy, which is School of Purpose and Destiny. It was founded when?
Last year, November.
Okay, and you've had how many sessions? And
Basically, we've had like 2-3
sessions. Okay. Yeah. What was the turnout? Like, how many students have you had so far?
The one I had while I was a medical student was the on-site training, and others I've been doing were online, more of a personal discovery journey with individuals who came along during the course of.
So roughly how many students? 100, 1,000, 20?
Yeah, maybe counting 20, there about 20, 25, yeah.
So like a life coach, that's, I'm intrigued. Like I would expect a life coach to be someone much older. So like how did you know, like I mean you're in your 20s, so how did you know so early that you wanted to be a life coach? How did you discover that?
As a matter of fact, I could describe myself as a life coach, but I think I would better describe myself as an educator. Yeah, of which, being a life coach is a cliche stuff, but I'm more of an educator, more concerned about bringing illumination to the minds of people, because I strongly believe that when the minds of people are illuminated, then that is how transformation can begin in their lives. So I got interested in self-education, in seeking for knowledge, and in adding values to myself. And so the more I know, I'm able to share. So for example, I learned something about this, and then it happens that you are in need of that knowledge I have, and then I share the knowledge with you, and like, wow, this guy is a life coach. Yes, that's how it is. So it's just a search for knowledge, a search to know more, and then to serve my knowledge to people to meet a certain need. Yeah.
So that's why you're here today. You're here to illuminate our minds,
All right.
to feed us with some of your knowledge. So most of my viewers are students, actually, most, not all, probably. So the topic I chose for us to discuss today is something I feel bugs most of us. Like, a lot of us are wondering, like, everybody is doing something. This person is probably making hair, they're into makeup. Somebody is an entrepreneur somehow, somewhere, and I'm just thinking to myself, did God not give me any talents? There's nothing I'm doing with myself outside of school, like, and we are always told everyone has, I actually believe everyone has a purpose. So how do you discover your purpose? First question. That's how we're going to go, and we're going to also find out how friendships and relationships, the people in our lives, how they affect discovering your purpose, how they help you get there or stop you from getting there, and maximizing your undergraduate years. So where would you want to start from?
All right, so let's kickstart from purpose. Yeah, let's start from purpose. Okay. So talking about purpose, I think I would like to make everyone understand that nobody showed up on this side of the world, on this planet, by happenstance. Nobody showed up by accident. We might have accidental parents, we might have people who got pregnant without them knowing, but life doesn't come from the parents, because life comes from God. And for anyone to have a child or to be pregnant, I believe the giver of life, and that is God, is sending that life for a reason. Why? Because God is the most purposeful being I've ever known. Yeah, because he doesn't just do things because he feels like doing it. He does it because he's intentional about it. And so I have a philosophy that God sends people on earth because he can't come on earth. Or am I saying himself? And what do I mean by that? God is a spirit. And God wouldn't come to solve any issues on earth. God, if someone has a problem, God wouldn't come down to do it. God would rather send someone with that burden. God would customize that person in such a way that the person would be made to bring solutions to that answer, to that problem. So, as regards purpose, I believe everyone on earth, right from the person who is living in a slum to the person living in a mansion, was sent here on an assignment for a goal. Yeah. This brings to mind the story of Moses and the Israelites. You know, the Israelites, they were crying and they were praying to God for help to deliver them from slavery and everything. But God never came down to deliver them, and because God would never come down. I had a conversation with someone earlier today, and the person was asking me, okay, but if there is God, why is it that the problem's happening? Why is it that there's this issue here? And I'm like, God has already set the earth in such a way that if there's anything that needs to be addressed on earth, it takes a man to address it. So I associate purpose with a problem that is existing or that existed or that would exist, and you sent as an answer to that problem. So every one of us, we've been sent on earth as an answer to a problem or to problems, and I associate that with purpose.
Yeah, I would like to add to that because I was somewhere and someone illustrated purpose in a way that I never thought about it. So you're Mr. A and there's Mr. B and I'm maybe Mr. C, and you have a problem, like maybe you were born in a poor family and you don't have money to go to school, and my purpose in life is to actually make available resources for you to go to school. So if I fail in my aspect of fulfilling my purpose and making money, I'll not be able to send you to school, and you will not be able to do what you're supposed to do that would even influence someone else. So I think when we're thinking about fulfilling purpose, it's not just about you. If you fail to fulfill your purpose, you're being selfish because it's not for your own benefit, it's for someone else. And if you fail, like there is a chain going on, like, yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to add
That's so true. Yeah, I agree with you, because no tree eats out of its own fruit. Yeah. Look at yourself as a tree. You get your roots deep down into the soil. You do everything necessary as a tree. You produce your fruits, but you never eat your fruit. That doesn't mean you're dying, but you're serving someone. You're meeting a need. So that's why the least form of living is to live for yourself. Anyone who lives for himself is living at the lowest form of life. The greatest form of life, of living, is to live in service to humanity, service for others. That's when you start living.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the next thing is how to discover. Well, I was your student. I was in your school, and you took us on a journey of way back. Like, after I actually attended your school was when it didn't come about. It had always been there, but I wasn't sure. But after I attended your school, you took us on this journey of asking ourselves questions of when we're really little, asking our parents some things. Like you said, God is intentional. So everything that has been happening in our lives, right from when we were born, it's actually taking you to a direction. I wasn't aware, but I wasn't thinking in that direction until you told us some questions to ask ourselves and ask our parents or think and reflect. And I remembered that my parents used to tell me every time someone came home and they were not around, I was the only one at home, and they had to wait. Like, I would actually sit the person down outside and be asking so many questions. Like, when they come, they'll be like, omo yin soro gan. So, like, when I remember that, I was like, oh, wow, it's actually true. I actually always had this thing, but I never paid attention to it. I met an old friend, and we got talking, and he actually, like, described how I was back then in junior secondary school, and he was like, I actually am not the talkative person, but when I want my voice to be heard, I actually do. And I'm like, okay, it's true. This thing, I actually never saw myself that way, but it was a concession, if I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, so, but some people don't know how to ask themselves. They don't know how to go about finding themselves, that thing that they are supposed to do. So what advice do you have for them? What can they do?
To discover themselves.
Yeah, or what it is they're supposed to be doing.
All right. So if you can remember during our training, I broke the whole training into 3 areas. So the first area is self-discovery. The second area is your potentials, discovering your potentials and your gifts. And then the third area has to do with purpose, the reason why you're here. Everything starts with you being meticulous. A lot of us, we miss out in a lot of details because we are not meticulous. We don't pay attention. But the moment you start paying attention to minute things, because, when people hear the subject of purpose, they just think about one big stuff, and they're thinking maybe they're going to receive like a call from God, like God called Samuel, this is what you're going to do, No. The amazing thing about discovering your purpose is that it starts with you paying little details to...
Paying attention to little...
Yeah, paying attention to those little details. For example, what is that thing that you just have a burden for? Maybe everybody sees that thing and they just pass by. But you see that thing, you're like, I can't just pass by. It's just like a magnet. There's something in that thing that is attracting you to it. So everybody can just look at it and just pass by. But you're like, I can't just pass by this poor guy sitting on the road. My friends just walked past the guy, and they didn't even notice that someone is there. But I noticed, and there's something within me that is reaching out to that guy. This is the idea. God has deposited in each and every one of us trickles, traits, things that will make us realize what inclination that we have. We're talking about some things that you even do when you were young and when you were growing up. All of those things, they are actually pointers that if you look back in retrospect and you begin to connect the dots, you're like, oh, okay, so the reason why I was born into this family was because I needed to know what it felt to be in this situation. Okay, so the reason why I used to be this talkative is because there's something about me fulfilling my purpose that I will need to be talking. So for me, the first thing that I would advise the viewers is to begin to pay attention to details. Pay attention to things, to yourself. Pay attention to what makes you different from another person, because we are all unique. And most times, the way the world is that people try to beat you down with your uniqueness because people want you to conform. Because, so for example, when I was in junior high school, the teacher came to our classroom and then asked who would like to be the class captain. Everybody was seated. Nobody wanted to be the captain. But deep within me, I knew that, come on, I could be responsible. I could take that leadership role. So everybody was sitting and I was like, I think I can. Boom. All of them just turned, Bebeto. They just started calling me names. That you are too forward. Why didn't you just wait for the teacher to just choose somebody? But deep within me, I know I've had this instinct, I've had this stuff that comes with leadership, being able to be responsible, to serve people. So they wanted me to conform with them or to conform to them, but I was unique in that area. So you must discover your uniqueness. You must know exactly what makes you different from other people. Exactly. What burden do you have? These are just easy ways. There are a lot of stuff that they can learn on how to discover purpose. I have a lot of questions that you can ask yourself. And like you rightly said, you must start asking yourself questions. Because you must start asking yourself, because most times we don't ask ourselves questions. We don't ask ourselves questions. So in a place of solitude, where you take yourself out, take a time out, begin to ask yourself questions. Just get those questions and begin to ask yourself those questions. Why am I here? What do I like to do? What talents do I have? Amongst the people I see around me that are crying, whose tears do I want to rub away? Whose tears do I want to wipe away? Okay, amongst people who are sad, who do I want to make happy? Who do I want to help? The idea of purpose is that purpose is not about you, it's about another person.
Okay, I would like to cut you short, but we'll have to go on a really short break now, and we'll continue to talk about purpose and all that after our break. Welcome back from the break, and okay, we're delving into our second question. So there was once an argument. The question was, are we 100% responsible for how our life turns out? It was, I don't know, everyone had different opinions and all that, but the direction I would like to take us to today is how our friendships and relationships, the people in our lives, how they affect us in finding our purpose or achieving our purpose. Yeah, that's
all right. So let me start by saying this. Success in life is dependent on 3 factors. The first factor is knowledge. The second factor is character. And then the third is environment. And each of them have their percentages. So let me start with the least. If I ask you, can you guess the least?
I would actually think our environment is the least.
Amazing. So let me start with the least. The least is knowledge. Knowledge plays just 10% of your success in life. 10%. And I can prove it to you. The next is character. Character plays 40%. And the third is environment, 50%. Okay. Now, I'm saying this because you asked me about friendship. And friends, actually, the friends that you have create your external environment. You understand? But let me start with knowledge. Knowledge is very important. And that is what most people actually seek after, to just gain knowledge. But knowledge all by itself doesn't lead to anything. And I'm going to explain that to you, because you can be knowledgeable, you can know a lot, but for there to be any form of change or transformation, you must take that knowledge that you have from just being head knowledge, and you must take it to a place where you are actually doing it. You know, there are a lot of things that you know, but you don't do them.
Okay, but can you do something without even knowing it?
Beautiful. And that is the 10% role that knowledge plays. So the knowledge that you have plays 10%. But even more important is character and the habits, the value systems that you have built in yourself. For example, I can know that I have to engage in self-education for me to become beyond and to live beyond a mediocre life. that if I just go to school and study school books, the best I would be is to be a mediocre, because I'm going to get a certificate like every other person. But if I'm going to be an excellent person, I have to engage in self-education. I know that. But engaging in self-education is not just about you knowing. It takes you developing discipline in yourself. That after school, most people want to chill. After school time, most people want to just go and watch series. But that discipline to take away that series, that discipline to say, I should chill now, but I have to use this downtime I have to study and to work on myself. That discipline right there plays a more important role than you knowing that you have to
Okay, that's the character you're talking about.
Character. Yeah. So your character and the habits and the value system that you have built in yourself, they play a major role in what you become in life. But even much more than your character is your environment. And your environment talks about, there are two. It's your internal environment and your external environment. Now, your internal environment is what you build by yourself. You talk about self-motivation, talk about your confidence, everything. Those are the things that you've worked on yourself. This is what makes you a personality. This is when you work 100% self-aware. You know who you are. And you create your persona. You create your world. You are in charge of it. You're not the kind of person who needs someone outside to give you information for you to know who you are. You're not the person who needs somebody to tell you you're beautiful, you know you're beautiful. You don't need someone to validate you. All by yourself, you're validating yourself. That is you building that internal environment. You are a person all by yourself. You don't need anybody. So that is your internal environment. And then the external environment talks about the people that you have around you. Those ones who create your realities. So the first is your own internal reality. You know exactly who you are. You know exactly what you need to do. But then the other people around you also, they play a very important role. So let's come to the issue of friendship. You can have a lot of acquaintances, but I want to define a friend as someone who, number one, has your ear time, who also you give your ear time to, and who is always with you or spends most of that time with you. Now, this is it. Number one, your ear time. Someone you listen to always. That's the first one. Because there are a lot of people you can say hello to. But there's some people who you always listen to. Their voice comes...
It sinks in.
Not sinking. I'm not talking about what sinks in. I'm talking about how frequent you hear their voice.
I would like to stop you there. Because if I'm going by what you're saying, I would say my group mates are my friends. Because
you
I
hear
spend
them
more than half of my day with
Beautiful.
them. I hear them every day. They listen to me every day.
Those are the people actually that are your friends. You don't know it. Why am I saying that? It is because you might think they're not your friends, but I want to bring a whole new perspective to friendship. Why? Because the people that you listen to every day, they create your realities. See, your mind is like a clean slate. The voices you listen to paint those pictures in your mind. If you're with your group mates, and everything your group mate talks about is how Nigeria is bad, things are not well, everything is crazy. Either you agree with me or not, they are feeding your mind with information. They are creating your realities right there. And because you are spending your ear time with them, that time, so you are listening to them. So by listening to them, either you know it or you don't know it, they are creating pictures in your mind. They are filling your mind with information. And those information that is coming from them creates your realities in the long run. And that is the reason why I define them as your friend, not because they are the ones that you chose, but because they are the ones that are always there. Now, the second category are the people that you talk to now. This is not the ones that you are listening to, not the voices you are hearing, but the ones that you are giving yours. Why? Because the people you speak to also play a major role.
People who listen to you.
Yeah, those who you speak to and those who listen to you. For example, I had a very bright idea of starting something like an app. And the idea was I could have this app that, for example, if I go to a new country and I see some fruits and I don't know the fruits, but I'm interested in knowing it. So I could just have that app on a device that could just scan the fruits and will give you all of the details about the fruits. So for example, there's a banana here and I don't know what the banana is. I just go with the app, everybody has it, and then just take a screenshot, a scan of it, and then it tells you everything about it, its nutritional values, everything. So I had the idea, and then I shared it with somebody that was close by me. You know what the person told me? Guy. 3 months after I was on the internet, then I saw someone who had that. I saw that same idea I had. In reality. And I saw the app that this was doing exactly what I thought about. So you see, I shared my idea, but that person got me speaking to him, but he died. And that's how a lot of people have ideas, but they speak it to, because you can't just go to look for anyone on the street to tell your idea. That person is within your environment. And so now you speak that idea to the person. That person cannot water your idea. That person cannot motivate you. That person cannot say, come on, this is amazing. Let's do this. So what happens? He kills it. So you see, this is not the person who is talking to you, but this person who is listening to you. Very important. Who are the people always listening to you? They can either move you forward in the fulfillment of your purpose or take you backwards. That's second.
Sorry, but I'll have to cut you short, and we have to, because we don't have a lot of time. So I would like you to brush up a little, because of our time, on maximizing your undergraduate years.
Wow.
In summary. Yeah.
Okay. So maximizing your undergraduate years. This is something I have so great burden for. I'm actually working on a book right now that should be out maybe mid 2018 on how to maximize your undergraduate years. I discovered that most people in university, they are carried away and they fail to realize that there's a real world out of the school. And because of that, they spend all of their years in university in search for a certificate. And then when they graduate and then they get to the real world, they realize that certificate is the least thing that you can get from school. If what you're searching for during your years in university is a certificate, you're already a failure from the beginning.
A certificate
alone. Yeah. And I'm going to say that because when you graduate, you discover that having a certificate doesn't guarantee you anything in life. As a matter of fact, I think 2 years back or 3 years in Nigeria, Dangote Group, they were recruiting drivers for their truck. You would think they would seek for uneducated folks to drive their trucks, but nope. They sought for graduates who will be truck drivers. Now, what will blow your mind is that you think maybe people that just have maybe HND or OND that, but I tell you, that people who had master's degree applied for this job. Why? Because there is more you can gain in school than just education. Let me share with you one thing quickly that you do every day, but you never realize that this is actually to help you for real life. Number one, before you start your semester, the school have prepared your life for the next 4-5 months. And they can predict where you would be as at maybe the 4th of December, 11 p.m. or no, 11 a.m. So what do? They plan your life for you. They plan out your life that, okay, and your time. Now, what is that meant to teach you? That in real life, you must be a person who plans your life. And what does that mean? That means that a lot of people don't know this. So they just go with the plan of the school, and then they just live based on the plan that the school has had for them. But in life, if you're not able to plan your life, you're going to live a haphazard life. And at the end of the day, you're on your deathbed and you're like, what did I do with my life? I don't know. You understand?
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. I wish we could go on and on, like we could actually go on and on, but time would not allow us. So, as we already said earlier, he has a school of purpose and discovery. And trust me, you get to hear a lot of these things, like a lot of it, and it's really, really beneficial. Like, I'm a student of your school, I'm a product of his school. I was there for 2 months or a month. It was just a month, but I really gained a lot. So, well, you could find him. He's Pastor Anu Ojo, and if you're interested, you could register. When would you be having your next session?
I'm planning towards having one in January.
And it will be online, right?
Yeah, it's going to be an online training. Okay, yeah.
So, all right, and your book is coming out in.
Okay. I have a book that will be coming out February by God's grace. Titled "How to Be Great." How to become great through self-education. But the one I talked about earlier today that will be coming out by God's grace mid-2018 is how to maximize your undergraduate years. Yeah, so but I'm going to give you information as it progresses, and then the viewers to get to know about it.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. It was really, really, really a nice time with you. This is a gift from the Forte family. Just
Office 30 billion.
more than that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was really a nice time with
Thank you.
and we hope to see you soon.
Definitely.
It's time for our celebrity crush, and today we have a really young girl. She's an American girl of Nigerian and Mauritian descent. She's Zuriel Elise Oduwole. She's an American girl education advocate and filmmaker, best known for her works on the advocacy for education of girls in Africa. Her advocacy has made her the youngest person to be profiled on Forbes, and in 2013, Zuriel was listed in the New African magazines as one of the 100 most influential people in Africa. In March 2013, she formally stated a project called Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up for the promotion of the girl-child education in Africa. In April 2014, she was listed as the most powerful 11-year-old girl in the world by New York Business Insider. She wrote and produced the video for the campaign Like a Girl to show up girl confidence. Yeah, I chose this girl because, as I said, she was 11, but now I think she's about 14 or 15. She's really young and she has done so many things. Age is actually never against us. You can start to do anything at any point in time. You're never too young or never too old. So I hope you look her up again and learn a thing or two. So thank you to everyone who has watched our episodes, the first, the second, and now the third. And we've been having a giveaway on all of them. So I'm going to be announcing our winners. And the winner for the jacket given by TSB, which was on the first episode, is Omobonike11 on YouTube. So I don't know, I'll try to contact you and get it across to you. And the winner of the wig from Purple Dean is Victoria Ezine. I'll also contact you. Congratulations. And on our episode today, Dr. Anu is going to give one of my viewers a mentorship program. So you could be the lucky one again, and I'll contact you when I choose my winner. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching so far. If you've liked my videos, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to my channel, drop your comments, like and share. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance.